Hey Eagle fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Before we start today's Eagle video, get your mailbag questions in down below. The way we have plenty of questions for our weekend mailbags. Always do one on Friday, probably Saturday as well. The more questions, the more videos. So use the hashtag Eagles and drop your question down below in the comments section. All right, so as we always do here on a Wednesday, the latest Eagles news and rumors. A little more rumors and then some news to go ahead and wrap things up. Let's start with the big rumor that I tweeted about on my Twitter account. You see it below me here, @RealThomasMott. If you're an Eagle fan, you like the channel, follow me there. It's the LEVEON Bell rumor. So, did you hear it? The Jets are terrible. Well, I mean, everyone knows that. Did you also hear the Jets have officially cut LEVEON Bell as of yesterday? So the Jets are so done with LEVEON Bell, and this is important to understand. The Jets cut him middle of a terrible season where they're barely playing him, and they're going to eat $15 million in dead cap money. That's how badly they wanted him off their roster. Like, we're going to literally eat $15 million of dead cap money just to get you off of our roster. So keep that in mind as we continue the conversation. Now, it was reported, I think, by multiple outlets, including ESPN and NFL Network, back in 2018, the Eagles were interested in trading for LEVEON Bell at the NFL trade deadline. Again, 2018, so a couple of years ago. So the mutual interest could possibly be there. And Philadelphia has been reported, even this offseason, look at Devontae Freeman, that they looked at Carlos Hyde. They've been looking at a multitude of running backs to Sean McCoy, and they didn't sign any one of them, and now they've been stuck with, obviously, the three backs that they have right now on their depth chart. Honestly, go get Bell right now. Why not? You have nothing to lose by signing LEVEON Bell right now. Now, first off, I understand how bad he has been recently, and I think you got to attribute that more to the fact the Jets are a dumpster fire. The Jets are probably the worst organization and probably the worst football team in the NFL right now by far. Like, there are multiple winless teams, but the Falcons are way better than the Jets. I mean, there are teams that are, Denver has a win, but still, they're way better than the Jets overall. And so LEVEON Bell's stats, I don't think, attribute to what would happen if he was on a decent football team. But I think the big focus here is that he could become a great pair or combo back to go ahead and pair up with Miles Sanders. As Philadelphia and a lot of Eagle fans know, when Miles Sanders is not touching the football, Boston Scott and Corey Clement have done basically nothing. And so we'll talk more about that in a second, but I think you could get a little bit of the old LEVEON Bell. Not the original, OG Steeler LEVEON Bell, but a LEVEON Bell that could provide a lot of helpful running back touches for Philadelphia, a team that it's been kind of average overall running the football this year. Before we keep going, just answer the pinned comment down below just on this topic. Let me just see what you guys think. Should the Eagles sign LEVEON Bell? Type Y down below for yes, type N down below for no. As we mentioned, Philadelphia, they wanted to improve their running back depth chart. That's been widely reported, at least going into this season. They love Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, regardless of who they would bring in or could potentially bring in, is the number one back. They want to get him the football as much as possible, as you saw on Sunday against Pittsburgh. He can have a breakout touchdown run, the longest in Eagles in the past 20 years for Philadelphia on Sunday on just one play. And so they love him, but Scott has been a kind of a disappointment this year, and Corey Clement is nowhere near what he was in 2017. Clement was a great third down back during the Eagles Super Bowl run, had a massive game in the Super Bowl, but since then, cut. He's been brought back. He's really not a great factor there at number 3. And so the idea of LEVEON Bell comes down to this. One, he'd be a great combo back, so you could bring him in on third down, catch the ball out of the backfield. He could spell Miles Sanders, probably teach Miles Sanders a thing or two as well, because Bell at one point was the best running back in football. And 2, he'd be ridiculously cheap, because they're eating $15 million in dead cap money. That means they're paying him a massive amount of money just to not even play for the Jets. He would obviously take a lighter contract and probably play for a team like Philadelphia. I think this makes perfect sense, and a lot of people would say, Thomas, doesn't help us. We don't need to add more money to the salary cap. If you get Bell for $2 or $3 million for this year and have him play more snaps than Boston Scott and Corey Clement, why not? I mean, that's where I'm at. Why not at this point? The Eagles need a boost in their running game. Miles Sanders has kind of been on and off the football field with injuries to start the year. I think this is a great combination, and I'm all for them signing him. Will they? We'll see. I doubt it, but I'm fine for it. A lot of people are saying no in the Eagles media. Thomas Mott right here says yes. Good injury update quickly on Lane Johnson. This has been an underlying injury that kind of goes with all the other injuries that have been happening. The Alshon Jeffries, the Deshaun Jacksons, those guys are still waiting on, further confirmation on if they're going to play on Sunday. But Lane Johnson has been in and out dealing with this ankle injury that he got drained in a minor surgery earlier on in the season, said he was fine. Then he left the Steeler game due to an ankle injury, and then now was supposed to meet with doctors this week, which he did, to determine if he needs surgery or not. And the good news is he doesn't need surgery. So it looks like the Eagles are going to get Lane Johnson back for the rest of the season. He will have a nagging ankle injury, but it shouldn't need surgery where he would miss a lot of time. And listen, Philadelphia needs a healthy Lane Johnson to keep winning football games. They win more with Wentz in the lineup with Lane Johnson than they do without Lane Johnson. Here's Mike Garfolo's tweet the other day saying, quote, Eagles right tackle Lane Johnson, I gather more options on his nagging ankle. Sources say just a matter of trying to get some rest and fight his way through it. No talk of surgery, shutting him down or anything like that. We'll see about availability for Sunday versus the Ravens. This could be a scenario where he sits on Sunday and then comes back the following week to get ready for, I believe it's the Giants the week after that on Thursday night, the short week, because they're just trying to get him some rest the way the ankle can have time to heal overall. But the good news is there's no sort of, putting him on IR and then, he misses a massive amount of games. He's going to have to deal with this the rest of the season, but it's not season ending, and that is good news for everyone involved in Philadelphia. What is also a good thing to do, and good news as well, is to make sure that our news is available to you guys at any point in the day whenever we drop a new video. You do that by subscribing and also clicking the notification bell, because when the notification bell is hit, you are notified directly on your phone that Thomas Mott has the latest update on Eagle stuff, and that's obviously what you want. That's why you follow the channel, so go ahead and click that. Here's your current O-line as it stands. Mailata and Urbig, honestly, they're not supposed to be the two starters, but they've been pretty good for what the Eagles have been able to work with there on the left side. Again, not great, but a lot better than I thought Mailata and Urbig would actually be if they were going to start on the left side. Kelsey, obviously, there. Jimmy Pryor been hanging out at right guard. They will switch him to right tackle. If Johnson is injured, they'll work Jack Driscoll in at right tackle, but this is what it looks like right now, excuse me, with Lane Johnson. Now, critics will say, doesn't matter what Lane Johnson does, whether he's in there or not, Philadelphia is still giving up the second most sacks in the NFL, 19 times Carson Wentz has gone to the ground. Only less is Joe Burrow, and a big reason because of that is because Burrow was sacked 8 times against the Philadelphia defensive front. A lot of this, honestly, is coverage sacks, and a lot of this is Carson Wentz holding on the football too long. The O-line, for as banged up as they are, have been a lot better than I think people, including myself, were expecting whenever you saw Peters go down and whenever you saw Dillard go down. Obviously, whenever you saw Brooks go down. This is not the Eagles starting O-line. It's as good as you could possibly have. And the hope is with Lane Johnson getting a positive outlook on his ankle that Philadelphia is going to be good to go in terms of protecting Carson Wentz and hopefully running the ball here in the future. Quick little note here, the Eagles are going to have fans in the stands at Lincoln Financial Field on Sunday. This is big news for a lot of people involved in terms of could you actually go to the Linc and actually watch a football game at any point, because the city of Philadelphia is being kind of ridiculous and not allowing people to go. Well, they have, and so there will be right about 5,000, maybe a little bit more fans in the stands, which it's still ridiculous. If you've been to Lincoln Financial Field, which I have, it's big enough to fit 20,000 people fully socially distanced. I think every single NFL stadium could fit 20,000 socially distanced, wearing masks, and be 100% safe. But I think that they're just going to go ahead and start off with 5,000. So here's your first test in terms of an Eagle fan at home. We'll see Baltimore come into town. The Boo Birds could be back out if Philadelphia struggles, which hopefully they will not. You guys would go to an Eagles game right this season if you were offered tickets. Like if you were offered tickets right here on Sunday to go watch the Eagles play the Ravens, you'd go, right? If you agree, type 1 down below for yes, type 2 down below for no. I was watching famous Eagle diehard Jim Cramer on CNBC this morning. He was offered tickets to the Ravens game and said no, he's not going to go because of health concerns. It's like, Jim, come on, you can wear a mask, you'd be safe. I'd be fine with it. And speaking of masks, 30% off right now on these Eagle face masks that we've been selling for a very long time here at Chat Sports. Chatsports.com/Eagles mask is the place to go ahead and pick up your specific mask. And there's a bunch of different options there. And again, they're all on sale right now. Chatsports.com/Eagles mask. Get free shipping, up to 20, even 30% off on a ton of the different looks and options in 1, 2, 3, 4 pack. The link is all down below. So if you were going to go or go to a future Eagle game, I'd wear a mask that has the Eagle logo on it. You look more like a diehard fan there in the stands. Speaking of in the stands against the Ravens, quick matchup preview here. The line keeps changing. So Philadelphia was 7-point underdogs. Then they were 7.5-point underdogs. Now it sits at 8. So the Eagles are 8-point underdogs. Ravens are favored by more than a touchdown. Over-under sits at 47.5. Philadelphia, a team that I think people are still trying to figure out, because you go to the first couple games, how do you lose to Washington? How do you tie against the Bengals? That was absolutely terrible. We broke it all down here on the channel. And then a big win against the Niners, but the Niners are looking bad now, so how big of a win was it? And then a game against an undefeated Steeler team where Philadelphia had a great chance to go ahead and get a win there, and they almost did, and then they couldn't. So it's going to be interesting to see how that matches up and how Philadelphia can try and stop Baltimore, who's been really good this year. I will be interested and curious to see if Jeffrey or Jackson plays on Sunday. They've been out the past couple of weeks. Jeffrey hadn't even played this year, and Rager not expected to be ready to go either based on IR. But at the same time, I think Philadelphia will at least have a chance to go ahead and beat Baltimore. It all depends on what the defense can do. Baltimore's last 5 games are very similar to what happened with Pittsburgh over the first couple of games. Not a lot of big brand name wins. I mean, their best win was probably Cleveland. Houston's not a good football team. Washington, Cincinnati, bad football teams as well. I think Cleveland had to figure things out either. They lost their first game. They've won 4 straight. Their only real loss is Kansas City, and then they got embarrassed. And I think that the Kansas City game plan, especially on defense, Steve Spagnuolo and, of course, Andy Reid on offense, schemed it very well against the Ravens. Now, of course, the Chiefs have a much better team, but I think Philadelphia can use that game plan to hopefully slow down not only Lamar Jackson, but the rest of these running backs who've been really, really good. It's been proven if you can stop the run against the Ravens, force Lamar to throw, you'll have a shot every single time you go ahead and play them. Great team. Don't know if I can pick Philadelphia. My picks will come later this week, but I think the Eagles can at least have a shot to be in this football game. And if they pull out a win on Sunday, it's going to turn a lot of hearts back to Philadelphia and chances to go ahead and win the NFC East. Give me your score predictions. We wrap up here on Philadelphia Eagles now for Eagles-Ravens. I'm curious what you guys are thinking right now. I think the majority of us would agree, Philadelphia probably going to lose on Sunday, but this is just like the Steeler game. If Fulgham plays great, the defense can slow down Lamar Jackson, anything's possible, right? We got to be positive here on Philadelphia Eagles now. Ultimately, I have for today here on this video. I'm your host, Thomas Mott, as we sign off. Enjoy the rest of your day.